Yeah, so I already knew that we were like in like a 90s timeline. It was pretty clear. So let's see. So we're going to be improvising with this blue camera, so I can't even see myself currently. So let's just see. So there is uh, what I get in terms of my message is that you are divided. So maybe you are indecisive, divided within yourself. It could literally be divided within yourself, and as a result of that, you're kind of like a little bit stuck. So it could be like analysis paralysis, or like being too divided about something and keeps you stuck somehow. But actually, your alignment is stronger, is what I'm getting. So your alignment, yeah, your alignment is stronger than that. So I do think that you're so aligned, you're so in flow, um, that as a result of that, this flow will like carry you forward. This alignment will carry you forward, and so it doesn't really matter. It's stronger than you could say. Um, and then let's try a Jewish dice interpretations. Let's see. So what I'm seeing here is, let me see. So I know from remembering this, that I think you're going to have to put in a lot of work. So there's going to be a lot of work that you will have to do, for you to achieve some level of success. So there's still a lot of work to do. So that God wants to say, and also maybe perhaps in terms of thinking as well. There's still a lot of thinking that needs to be done. A lot of perhaps planning, anything to do with your mind. So there's a lot that still needs to happen there. And yeah, I also think that you are receiving too much, perhaps. Um, yeah, so there's also something about that there is an incredible amount of alignment, and this interpretation seems to suggest that you are not completely capable of tapping into that alignment that is actually there because of perhaps something in your environment. So let's just see. There's something that is hindering this from happening. So let's see. I think this has something to do with relationships. So it has something to do with relationships. So your relationships in general are making it hard for you to be in alignment. And I do think what it makes me think of, and I don't know if this is accurate, but it makes me think of, because it also talks about having a poor container, which makes me think about empathy. And I was thinking, like, today I was very much in alignment, you could say. And then as soon as my partner came home, I'm perhaps also so much in alignment that I am sensing like the stress that I'm feeling is not really my stress. It's like your stress, but it's making it hard to make decisions. It's making it hard to flow. You could say it's making it hard to be in. Well, there is alignment all the time, but like it makes it hard, I guess. And I do think it has something to do with that. Um, it's not necessarily bad. It's just because it is actually uh, also the interpretation of it that this would be like trustworthy. So there's nothing necessarily wrong at the moment, but it's more like you're picking up too much from the outside world. So also like anything to do with other people, you're picking up so much currently that it's making it hard for you to be in alignment, although the alignment is actually there. So let's just see, to get in your like genius zone, your flow state, your alignment. It's making it hard to do that. So let's just see. I've got something with me as well. So let's just see. Okay, so there's something about that. It's kind of interesting because I do think like you're going to be, because I get like these druidic states, right? I use some tree stones to look at that a little bit creatively. So and like this is my stone for like a potentiality state, but it's like uh, not falling into my circle. So it means that you are going to be doing a lot of planning, right? But I do think it is much more like working on already existing ideas. This is not new ideas or new visions. This is working further on already existing ideas that you already have. And I do think you haven't really found your flow yet, I think. So there is greater alignment to be had. You haven't really found your flow yet. This is just the beginning of that. But you are in alignment, and the only thing that's actually active is the stability state. So it means that you have actually, whatever you were grounding in before, you have successfully grounded it in. So it is part of your, it is part of your habits now. So there are things that you have started that are now really, really solidly part of your daily habits. So you are in a like at the previous stage of whatever you were creating. That is settled now. That is part of your routine, your habits, your mindset, perhaps. Like it's part of your foundation now. But your ideas just need to be worked through more, and you could be having a flow experience more as well, because you're picking up too much on other people, likely the stress of other people around you, perhaps. um, so let's see, which is making you likely very indecisive or internally conflicted about things. Let's see, we're getting the house, so it has something to do with the home. At the home front, which I was already like sensing, like it is at the home front that this is happening. It's not, so this could be indicating like this is at the home front, that this is happening, not so much at work, unless your home is your work, perhaps. And then you have the butterfly. The butterfly. So you are metamorphosizing, perhaps. You are metamorphosizing within your home environment, or your home environment may be metamorphosizing. And it also makes me think about a project. There is a project that completely fell through, the vision fell through, because one thing totally didn't work, and like this idea needs to be completely rebuilt again. I had like a plan B, but I'm not really, yeah, I'm not really feeling it yet. So it could be talking about that as well. Um, a metamorphosis of the home could also be, perhaps if you would see the home as perhaps your spiritual container, like your your body, your personality, these kinds of things, right? So it could be that there is, could it be something like that there are renovation works uh, of your spiritual vessel taking place, and you are metamorphosizing currently. Like just like I felt that I was had switched timelines. Like I'm now in more of a 90s timeline currently, um, which also like starts showing itself in other ways as well. So it's kind of interesting. Um, so something is metamorphosizing, and it could also be that your home environment in and of itself is starting to metamorphosize. So there could be like things changing in your home environment also when it comes to relationships. So let's see. Let's go with this one. We get idle hours reversed. Take some time out to lie on the emerald grass. But this was reversed, so it means get to work. In other words, make sure you don't have any idle hours, that you are work, 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 because you need to do a lot of work in order for this to be successful. Like you won't have time to like take a time out right now. Like we're going on vacation. my partner and I, like I think next week. I'm not quite sure actually. But I think it was next week that my partner said that he booked everything. So yeah, so there's no time to like be idle right now. Like do that when you have a vacation, perhaps. Um, so let's see. And it says path as well. Wander on the path less traveled when what you find might surprise you. So I do think that you may want to. It's kind of strange because on the one hand you need to work, work, work. But on the other hand, which you could call idle hours in terms of this path, is uh, is you do need to like discover some things, try some things out in order to make something work. So there's no avoiding that, I guess. And let's see. Here we have frenemies again. Enemies that look like your friends. Radio tower signal. A signal that you're sending out radioactive. Such as the frenemies. Friends that look like enemies that look like your friends. But it feels different to me today. For some reason. Let's see. Surprise. It says surprise. And then at the bottom, smartphone connection. See, there's something about it. All of a sudden, like the devices are changing. Just like I'm all of a sudden using this blue camera, all of a sudden we're in the 90s timeline. So again, so there's something about surprise, smartphone connection. So there is, you are in a different era, you could say. Like, so in my case, this would be a different era. For you, this would likely be something like a different timeline. There's something has changed. It is your home environment is metamorphosizing. You are metamorphosizing. You may have literally switched timelines without realizing it. Which has something to do with perhaps a time era where you all of a sudden have access to smartphones, or you have or like you are going to start connecting to older devices or something. Like there is something that has changed. So to me this makes me think about, because we have all of a sudden like this weird thing with camera and such. See if it's still working. Yes, we have these weird things with cameras and such. So I do think there is something about a switch of timelines, because it makes me think about that for me personally. So you may start to send out a different signal, and this different signal has something to do with also with your frenemies. I do think that they're going to start changing as well, metamorphosizing as well, perhaps. And you have downloads, as I was saying. There's a more metamorphosizing of something of your vessel. Downloads, so you may be receiving downloads, and it says revelation. So you may be having downloads and revelations, or revelation downloads. So yeah, so you may be downloading some things currently. Um, let's see. Let's go for this one. It's only one that wanted to. Well, one fell now as well, which was like my seeds of manipulation, right? So manipulation, like thought seeds being planted. And then you have the rebel, because we have the lightning. The lightning makes me think about being a very independent thinker, being a rebellious thinker. So you may start to activate rebel mode, very highly independent rebel mode kind of thinker, walking most definitely the path less traveled. So there's something about that, and you're not going to be influenced by other people very likely. Let's see. Then you have the Five of Wands reversed. So this could be an indication of that there is not going to be much struggle with your home environment soon. So if there were like conflicts or drama or something, or like if you were not seeing eye to eye, or you had differing viewpoints, you may start aligning again. So the opposite of this would be alignment. I think you will start aligning soon. And then you have the Four of Pentacles here, which is maybe something to do with budget, savings, budget, and to do with money. Maybe you want to spend money and not be too careful, because the opposite of this would be not be stingy, spend money, invest money, or don't hold on to things. It could also be don't hold on to the drama or the conflict, which would be a combination of these two. Actually, I think it's much more that because it talks to each other, right? So the combination of these two would be don't hold on to drama or conflict or anything like that, because things are changing. And then you have or actually have already changed. And then you have the Queen of Cups, which is like someone who like looks at things from all kinds of angles. So you don't want to look at things from all kinds of angles. Maybe things will start clearing up soon. I do think you are more intuitive though. This Queen of Cups, you are more intuitive, and you are receiving massive downloads. So you may start to like feel other people's emotions and such. Like you are very much connected. And then you have the Seven of Cups, which is like many different options, but there are not really many different options. So it means that there is a narrow path available for you. There's like one option, one clear path available for you, and soon you will start to see it once you are not really picking up on, you're not so intuitive anymore. You've settled into this new state. Then you have the Tower, divine intervention at the bottom. So I do think that something has changed. Something the divine has intervened, and you are on a different timeline right now. Things have changed and are changing due to divine intervention. So let's see. And last but not least, we still have this one here to look at. Put everything in here. I think we only have 30 minutes. Let's see how long we still have. Okay, that's enough. Lots of dirt here. That's okay. It's resistant to dirt. What I've brought with me. Just put this away before it gets dark. Okay, let's see. One moment. So we have everything back in the box. Okay, let's see. But it's getting like really late. The sun is going down slowly. So let's see. Okay, we have pumping or pumps or pumping, and it says relationship, your connection with someone. So I do think that there was perhaps a lot of pressure in a relationship with someone, with your bond with people. So it could be that if there were like pressured bonds, stressed bonds, that all of a sudden they may start changing due to divine intervention. And I do think, like I've been talking to God about that, like been quite sad about it, quite literally. And I do think, like every now and then, I'm sad about it a bit. Like it's unfortunate that it is the way it is, and I do think that God is intervening as a result of that. So let's see, and then you have handful. So it could be that 5 relationships are going to start changing miraculously, and if there were like strained, pressed relationships, they are all of a sudden going to change somehow. So yeah, so let's see. And it could be that you are either now in an era of where the smartphone era again, that you're back into that kind of a place, or it could be, which I think is much more likely, that you may, because we also got messages about like social media detox, that you might be going back, and you may be noticing, perhaps in my case, like the only device I could use was my blue camera, which is like a really old camera. um, that you can't really see what you are filming and such, like really simple device. So it could be that all of a sudden you may have no other option than to use older devices perhaps, or you're catapulted back in another timeline. Something is going to change there. So you may notice this in all kinds of ways. So I'm wishing you a very beautiful day ahead, and bye bye.